Hello and welcome to the course on Matrix Method of Structural Analysis. This is Dr. A.S. Sayyed, working as Professor and Head, Department of Structural Engineering, Sanjeevani College of Engineering, Kopargaon. We are dealing with the unit number 2, that is Flexibility Matrix Method. We have already solved one problem of continuous beam. In this class, we will solve one more example on analysis of continuous beam using Flexibility Matrix Method. So statement of problem is analyze the beam using flexibility matrix method. If support A is fixed, B is roller and C is guided support. Take EI constant. So this is beam given. Support A is fixed, support B is a roller and support C is a guided support. Guided support is also called as slider. Okay. So first step we know that. So first step of solution is to determine degree of static indeterminacy. Degree of static indeterminacy DSI is equal to total number of unknown reactions in the given beam minus equations of equilibrium. Total number of unknown reactions, fixed support we have 2 reactions, roller support we have 1 reaction and guided support is also we have 1 reaction. So total unknown reactions are 4, that is moment at A, reaction at A, vertical reaction at B and 1 reaction at C, but reaction unknown at C is a moment, since it is a guided support which allows the point to move vertically up and down. The unknown, static unknown at point C, that is guided support, is always moment, not a vertical reaction. So there are 4 unknown reactions minus 2 equations of equilibrium. So DSI answer is equal to 2. Okay. So those 2 will select as a RB and moment at C. Okay, why RB and moment at C? That is, we will discuss in the next slide. So once you determine the degree of static indeterminacy, step number 2 is to draw the release structure and unit load figures. So release structure means what? Once you determine the degree of static indeterminacy, in this problem it is equal to 2, which represent that there are 2 additional unknowns in the given beam which makes the given beam statically indeterminate. So if we remove 2 reactions from the given beam, the beam becomes statically determinate again. And that's why to make it statically determinate, we have removed the roller support at point B and we have removed the guided support at point C. And that's why reaction at B and moment at C becomes 2 our unknowns, RB and MCB. So this is called as release structure. Okay. Then once you draw the release structure, now you have to draw the unit load figures. Unit load figure means remove all external load acting on the beam and apply unit load in positive direction at a point where your unknown reactions are acting. So our first unknown reaction is RB. So apply unit positive reaction at point B. Positive means vertically upward. Okay. We are applying point load because our unknown reaction is vertical reaction. Okay. So this is called as RB equal to 1 unit load figure. Similarly, second figure, unit load figure will be moment at C. Since our unknown at second unknown at point C is a moment at C, we have to apply unit moment at point C in positive direction means anti-clockwise. So this is third figure, MCB equal to 1. Okay. So first figure is release structure and remaining 2 figures are called as unit load figures. Once you draw this release structure and unit load figure, now we have to calculate the moments. So now step number 3 is moment calculation. Okay. Now for moment calculation, draw all 3 figures, release as well as unit load figures again, and now prepare one table like this. First column of the table represent the zone. Zones means if any one end of the support is fixed, if any one end of the beam is fixed, always start to move from the free end toward the fixed support. Once you move from C towards A, observe the right part of this section and the point where loading will change, your zone will change. So in short, zone represent the loading conditions. Okay. So from C if you start to move, just before point D, if you observe the right part, there is no load. So first zone is C to D. If you cross the point D, the point load will come in picture. It means zone will change at point D. Okay. So second zone is D to B. Similarly, third zone is B to E, and the fourth zone is E to A, because if you cross the point E, 40 kilonewton point load will come in picture. Therefore, at point E, your zone will change. So there are four zones in the given beam, and those are C to D, D to B, B to E, and E to A. So that is first column zone. Now origin means for all zones. When we are taking the sections in different zones, we have to measure the distance of that section from C is represented by X, or distance of that section from origin is X. So it is always better that always take the origin as a end of the beam, so that it is simple to mark the X distance. Origin means X is equal to 0 at origin. Okay, so we have considered C as the origin for all zones in this problem. Okay, so if X is equal to 0 at C, value of X at D becomes X is equal to 4. This distance is 4. So here value of X is 4. At B, X is equal to 8. At E, X is equal to 12. And at A, X is equal to 16. So what are the initial and final points of these zones, which are also called as limits of the zones? So limit of first zone is X equal to 0 to 4, means 0 to 4. Then second zone is 4 to 8. Third zone is 8 to 12. And fourth zone is 12 to 16. So that is third column of this table representing the limits of the zone: 0 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 12, and 12 to 16. Okay. So these are the first three columns of the table. Now remaining three columns of the table representing the values of moments in the various zones of these three figures. Capital M column you will get from the release structure. M1 column you will get from RB equal to 1, and M2 column you will get from MCB equal to 1 figure. Now we have to take this section one by one in all these three figures. So if you start from the first zone, that is CD zone, origin is C, limits are 0 to 4. Okay. Now if you take a section in first zone in all three figures, take a section at a distance of X from the origin, it is X. If you observe the right part of this section, if you observe the right portion of this section now, in first figure release structure there is no load. If there is no load, moment is equal to 0. Similarly, in second figure also, on the right part of section there is no load. So in second, that is M1 column, moment is again 0. Now if you look at the third figure right portion, there is a moment. Magnitude of this moment is 1 kilonewton meter. Anti-clockwise sense represent the positive. So on the right part of this section there is only one force, and that is a moment. Magnitude is 1 kilonewton meter, anti-clockwise positive. So this is the values of moments in all three figures, okay, in a first zone. Now similarly we have to take these sections in second zone. So if you take a section in second zone, the distance of this section from origin is X. Okay, this is X. So if you observe the right portion of this section, there is only one point load, and that is 20 kilonewton in the release structure. Now we have to take moment of this 20 kilonewton. We are taking moment about this point. So perpendicular distance between this point and the point where point load is acting is this distance. So to calculate this distance, this is total X. So if you remove this distance from X, we will get this distance. So it is equal to X minus 4. Okay, so moment of 20 kilonewton is 20 into X minus 4. It will gives you clockwise moment. Okay, clockwise means minus. So in the release structure, second zone, that is DB, the value of moment is minus 20 into X minus 4. Similarly, in the second figure, if you observe the right part of the section, still there is no load on the right part, moment is again 0. Okay, and if you observe the right portion of the section in the third figure, same unit moment is in the picture. So magnitude of this moment is +1, sign is positive because anti-clockwise. Okay, this is second zone. Now if you take section in third zone of the all three figures, take a section in third zone. Distance of this section from origin is x. So this is x distance. We are taking a moment here, and observe the right portion of this section. There is again point load 20 kilonewton. Perpendicular distance of this point load is this distance. So again from x, if we minus this distance, that is 4, we'll get this distance. So it is x minus 4 again. Okay, so moment of this 20 kilonewton is 20 kilonewton into x minus 4, that is 20 into x minus 4. Again it will gives you clockwise moment. So minus 20 into x minus 4, that is moment in release structure, that is capital M column. Similarly, if you take a section in third zone of second figure, observe the right part now. Now in this zone, on the right portion of section, there is a unit load. Perpendicular distance now we have to calculate. This is perpendicular distance because we are taking moment here. So distance of section from origin is x. So this distance is x. Okay, so if you minus this distance, we'll get this distance. So it is x minus 8. This distance is x minus 8. So moment of this unit load is 1 into x minus 8. X minus 8, it produces anti-clockwise moment, so positive. So this is x minus 8. In third figure, again if you take a section in third zone, if you observe the right portion, the same moment is there. So it is 1, again positive 1. Now last zone, that is fourth zone. So if you take a section in fourth zone of all three figures, if you observe the right portion of the section now, there are 2 point loads, 40 kilonewton and 20 kilonewton. Now we have to take the moment of these 2 point loads. So first, if you take a moment of 20 kilonewton, distance x is measured from origin. So this distance is x. Okay. Now we want, if you are taking moment of this 20 kilonewton is acting at point D. We are taking moment here. So this is perpendicular distance. This is perpendicular distance. So if you minus this distance from x, we'll get this distance. So this distance is 4. So perpendicular distance become x minus 4. So moment of 20 is again 20 into x minus 4 clockwise. So it is minus. So minus 20 into x minus 4, first part of the moment. Now moment of 40 kilonewton. 40 into this perpendicular distance. Okay. So total distance from 40, this distance x, distance of section is x again. Now if you minus the distance from the x, we will get the perpendicular distance of 40, that is 12 meter. So this distance, perpendicular distance of 40 kilonewton is x minus 12. So moment of 40 kilonewton is 40 into x minus 12. Again it produces clockwise moment, so minus. So second part of the moment is minus 40 into x minus 12. Okay. So now if you refer the second figure, last zone, if you observe the right portion, again there is a unit load. Perpendicular distance of this unit load is this. Distance of section from origin is x. So to get this perpendicular distance, if you minus this, that is 8 meter. So perpendicular distance is x minus 8. So moment of this one is 1 into x minus 8, x minus 8. Okay. This is x minus 8. And the last figure, if you observe the right portion of this section in last figure, same anti-clockwise moment is repeated. So it is 1 again. So this is final table of the moments in various zones of all three figures, that is release structure and unit load figures. Once you calculate these moments, now rest of the part is only calculation part. With the help of these all moment values, we have to find out all the matrices involved in the compatibility condition. Okay, one by one now we'll determine all the matrices. So compatibility condition is dq equal to dql plus f into q, dq vector, dql vector, f matrix and q vector. These vectors are first dq vector. Dq is equal to displacement corresponding to unknown reactions in the original structure. Okay, so our unknowns are reaction at B and moment at C, that is MCB. So these are our two unknowns. So corresponding displacement, if unknown is reaction, corresponding displacement is vertical displacement. If unknown is moment, corresponding displacement is rotation. So we have to see that in the original structure, is there any vertical displacement given at point B? In this problem, there is no vertical displacement is given at point B. So it is equal to 0. Vertical displacement means sinking. We have to see that whether sinking of support is given or not. Okay. There is no sinking at point B. And now if you look at the C point in the original structure, there is no rotation given in the original structure at point C. So second element of this matrix is also 0. So in short, no sinking at B, no rotation at C given in the original structure. Therefore, both the elements are 0. This is first vector. Now second matrix or second vector involved in compatibility condition is DQL vector. So now we have to calculate the elements of DQL vector. There are two elements in DQL vector, DQL1 and DQL2. DQL1 represent the vertical displacement at point B and DQL2 represent the vertical displacement, rotation at point C. DQL2 represent the rotation at C. Okay, now we have to calculate these two elements. To calculate the elements of DQL vector, there is an integral formula. We know that we have already solved one problem. So DQL1 is equal to integration capital M into M1 and DQL2 capital M into M2. These are integrated over the limits of the zones, lower and upper limit. Summation sign included in these two coefficients represent the, we have to add all zones together to find out the final value of DQL1 and DQL2. Okay, I will calculate one by one these coefficients. I will repeat the moment table again to understand the moments. The same table is repeated here. Now first coefficient, that is DQL1. Okay, now to calculate DQL1, it is capital M into M1. Okay, integration. Now we have to add all four zones. So first zone CD. Okay, capital M value is 0, M1 value is also 0. So CD multiplication is 0. M into M1 is 0. So first zone integration is 0. Similarly, if you look at the second zone, that is DB, capital M is equal to minus 20 into x minus 4, but M1 column is again 0. So second zone is also 0. Third zone B to E, origin is C, limits are 8 to 12. Okay, limits are 8 to 12 here. Capital M is equal to minus 20 into x minus 4, this value, and M1 is equal to x minus 8. So this is x minus 8, M1. So M into M1 in third zone. Similarly, fourth zone E to A, limits are 12 to 16. Capital M is equal to this, and M1 is equal to x minus 8 again. Okay, so first two zones are 0, remaining two zones are there. So if you calculate this integration in your calculator and if you add this over the limits 8 to 12 in this zone and 12 to 16 in fourth zone, final answer of DQL1 is equal to this, minus 8106.67 upon EI. Okay, this is first element. Similarly, DQL2, second element of the DQL vector. Okay, capital M into M2. So this is M and M2. Okay, now first zone multiplication is again 0 because here M column it is 0, M1 it is 1. So 0 into 1 it is 0. So first zone is again 0. Okay, now in second zone capital M is equal to this, M2 is equal to 1. So this is second zone, M into M2. Third zone, minus 20 into x minus 4 into 1 again. So this is third zone, and fourth zone is minus this capital M into this M2 again 1. So this is fourth zone. So in this DQL2, only first zone multiplication is 0. Three zones are there. If you perform all these three integrations separately and if you add we will get the dq finally minus 1760 upon EI. Okay, note that coefficients or signs of dql1 and dql2 both are minus. It represents that for dql1 displacement is a downward, okay, that's why it is minus, and dql2 is related to rotation, it means it is a clockwise rotation at point C. Okay, so these are the elements of dql matrix. Now next we will calculate the flexibility coefficients, that is F matrix. I'll repeat the moment table again. Now flexibility coefficients, this is Fij equal to 1 upon Ei integration over the limit a to b small mi into small mj. It means if you want to calculate F11, this I equal to 1 and j equal to 1, F11 is equal to m1 into m1. Similarly, F12 or F21 is equal to m1 into m2. We know that F12 is equal to F21 because flexibility matrix is always symmetric matrix. Okay, so this multiplication become m1 into m1 for F11, m1 into m2 for F12, and m2 into m2 for F22. Okay, so we'll calculate the flexibility coefficients now. F11 is equal to m1 into m1. So m1 into m1, for first zone it is 0. Second zone also it is 0 because m1 column elements moments are 0 in first two zones. Now third zone it is x minus 8 into x minus 8. Limits are 8 to 12 in this zone. Okay, and fourth zone plus fourth zone, again m1 is x minus 8, so x minus 8 into x minus 8, limits are 12 to 16. Okay, so if you perform these two integrations and if you solve it, we will get the flexibility coefficient F11 is equal to 170.67 upon EI. Okay, so this is F11. Now F12, which is equal to F21, is equal to M1 into M2. 1 stands for M1 and this 2 means M2. M1 into M2. So multiplication of M1 M2, first zone 0 into 1 it is 0. Second zone 0 into 1 it is 0. Third zone it is x minus 8 into 1. First two zones are 0. Then x minus 8 into 1 third zone and x minus 8 into 1 it is fourth zone. Okay, so again if you perform this third and fourth integration, value of this coefficient is 32 upon EI. Okay, this is second coefficient of flexibility matrix. Third and last coefficient of flexibility matrix, because flexibility matrix is of size 2 by 2 because unknowns are 2. Okay, so there will be 3 elements because 2 elements are symmetric same. So F22 is equal to, now F22 is equal to M2 into M2. M2 into M2, so 1 into 1 for first zone, limits are 0 to 4. So 1 into 1 is 1. So this is first zone 0 to 4. Similarly 1 into 1 second zone, 1 into 1 third zone, 1 into 1 fourth zone. So all 4 zones integration is dx only. Limits are second zone 4 to 8, then 8 to 12, 12 to 16. So there are 4 zones with the integration of 1 and limits. If you solve these 4 integrations in your calculator, final answer of F22 is equal to 16 upon EI. So these are the coefficients of flexibility matrix. Now your all vectors required for compatibility condition are over. Now if you substitute all these matrices in the compatibility condition, dq is equal to dql plus f into q. Okay, so this is a set of algebraic equation in matrix form. If you solve these two equations, two unknowns in your calculator, you will get the answers for RB and MCB. So first unknown, that is RB, value is 32.99 kilonewton. You can take it as a 43 kilonewton. And second unknown is MCB, moment. Its value is 25 kilonewton meter. Answer is positive, means it is anti-clockwise moment. Okay, so these are the final static unknowns by using flexibility matrix method. Of course, if your problem is to analyze the beam, we have to find out finally all moments. Okay, these are only one reaction at point B and one moment. So rest of the unknown reactions we have to find out using our fundamental concept of mechanics, right? For example, if you want to calculate RA, reaction at A, so using summation of Fy, you will get RA equal to 17.01 kilonewton. Remember, reaction at C is 0 because at C Unknown is not reaction, unknown is moment. So there are only two vertical reactions in the beam, RA and RB. So sum of RA plus RB equal to total load, right? So from summation of Fy you will get RA. Once you get RA, then you can find out the moments by taking the two spans separately. So moment calculation, if you draw these two span AB and BC separately, R equal to 17.01 kilonewton, okay, reaction at A, and reaction at vertical reaction at C, because there is a moment, that value is 24 kilonewton meter, already we have calculated. Now remaining three moments, that is moment at A, MAB, moment at B, B to A is MBA, moment at B, B to C, MBC. These three moments are unknown. Okay, so these three moments we have to calculate. Since these three moments are not known to us, initially we will assume all three moments in anti-clockwise sense, that is positive. So here all three moments are assumed anti-clockwise, that is positive. With the external load 40 kilonewton and 20 kilonewton at a distance of 4 meter, right? Once you draw these two members, now we have to apply simple mechanics equation, summation of moment about point B equal to 0 to find out the moments. Since second part B to C we are having only one unknown, and that is MBC, it is always better to start the calculation from second part of the beam, that is MBC. So if you take a moment about point B in second span, okay, summation of moment about point B equal to 0, right? So first is MBC, this is MBC moment at B, anti-clockwise we have assumed, this is anti-clockwise, so positive. Then moment of 20 into 4 clockwise, so minus, there is no reaction, so moment is equal to 0. Now this moment is anti-clockwise 24, so plus 24. So if you solve this, you will get MBC equal to 56 kilonewton meter. Answer is positive. It means our assumed direction anti-clockwise is correct. No need to change the direction. Once you get the MBC, now it's very simple to find out MBA, because using the joint equilibrium condition, these two moments are equal in magnitude and opposite in nature. So if this is MBC is equal to plus 56, MBA must be equal to minus 56 kilonewton meter. So MBA equal to minus means it must be clockwise. Okay, so this MBA equal to minus 56. Now using this minus 56, now if you apply summation of moment about point B equal to 0 in first span, that is AB, okay, this is MAB moment, this is MAB moment anti-clockwise, so positive, this is anti-clockwise positive. Then moment of 40 kilonewton about point B, perpendicular distance is 4, 40 into 4, this is anti-clockwise, so positive. Then MBA moment, it is minus 56, and moment of reaction RA, it is clockwise moment 17.01 into 8. Okay, if you put all these values and if you calculate, this is MAB equal to 32.08 kilonewton meter. Okay, so like this you will get all the moments. Now last part is to draw the bending moment diagram. So this is bending moment diagram. It is plotted in two parts. One is positive moment and negative moment. First positive moment, this triangle represents the positive moment, 40 kilonewton at the center, maximum moment is WL by 4. So 80 kilonewton meter. Then second span is also subjected to central point load, so it is also triangle in nature, WL by 4, that is 20 into 8 divided by 4, answer is 40. So these two moments are because of external load 80 and 20, triangular in nature. Now we have to plot the negative bending moment diagram. MAB, it is 32.08, we have calculated, its answer is positive, that is anti-clockwise. So anti-clockwise means you have to plot it upward, so it is above the line 32.08. Then moment at B, if you look at B, B to A is clockwise moment and B to C is anti-clockwise moment. So it plot upward in both the cases. Maximum value is 56. So this is the ordinate. And at point C, now Moment is 24 anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise means you must plot it downward. So downward means this is 24 kilonewton meter. So if you join this by a straight line, you will get the, if you join this with the straight line, you will get the negative moment. This is negative moment line. Okay, so like this you can plot the bending moment diagram. Okay, so with this, solution of this beam using flexivity matrix method is over. In the next class, we will solve one more numerical example on the analysis of continuous beam using flexivity matrix method if the beam is supported by spring support. Okay, thank you.